From helping with hurricane recovery out of state to dealing with recent power outages, it's been a busy stretch for Maine's two major power companies. And of course, we all know winter is approaching. Our Sam Rogers has a closer look at how the utility companies are working to build resiliency for whatever comes our way.
Strong wind events are a trend Central Maine Power and Versant Power are seeing more and more frequently. In fact, 125,000 CMP customers lost power over the weekend due to strong winds, and the company held back crews from assisting with Hurricane Milton because of the damage at home. Now the two companies are working to make the grid more modern and automated to reduce long outage times this winter and during the fall while the leaves are still on the trees.
Those trees really turn into giant sails, catch that wind in the canopy, and can uproot trees right out of the ground. We saw hundreds of examples of that over the weekend.
That's really when we get concerned, is when we see sustained winds in excess of 40, 50 miles an hour.
Judy Long of Versant Power and Jonathan Breed of Central Maine Power say their companies are working to improve grid resiliency.
Because we know that these stronger, more frequent storms are not going anywhere for the time being.
Over the summer, CMP took on its largest grid reliability project, replacing wooden transmission poles with steel structures along a 22-mile stretch from Windsor to Warren. A new substation in Biddeford will also help minimize power outages in that growing area, Breed says. And CMP is working to make its systems more automated and will continue to do so with $30 million in federal funding.
With more automation on the grid, we can remotely sometimes restore power outages in under 5 minutes.
Versant is also modernizing infrastructure in its coverage area. Long says the company is putting in taller, stronger utility poles, adding fault detectors to increase restoration times, and covering power lines. Because Maine is so forested, Long adds, it's impossible to make sure every tree that could possibly fall on a power line gets cut.
That presents some difficulties, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things that we can do to strengthen the grid.
Versant and CMP will continue to monitor any chance of high winds that could knock out power this fall, and they're fully staffed for any winter storms that come our way, with extra crews ready to respond from out of state.
There's a mentality and a practice in utilities that we all help each other when times are toughest.
Now, when we do experience major storms, Judy Long wants to encourage Mainers to make a plan if your family loses power or has to deal with flooding and wind damage. Sam Rogers, News Center, Maine.